This is the second example in your slides. So we have a new bank balance sheet, and instead of a deposit, we are going to look at a withdrawal. So Bob withdraws $300 from this bank. First of all, will M1 money supply initially increase, decrease, or stay the same? Well, it is going to stay the same because remember, the money that is in a checking account is in the same category as cash, and they are both considered M1. So this stays the same. How much is the required reserves? Okay, well, we need to see. It looks like, again, the required reserve ratio is 10%. Well, now the bank only is liable for 17,000 after Bob withdraws his 3,000. So how much is the required reserves now? Well, that simply is the 17,000, 17,000 times 0.10, and that is going to be 1,700. So the required reserves now is 1,700. And the excess reserves is only going to be 300 now. Why? Well, both sides of the sheet have to add up to the same amount. And in order for me to balance this, we will only have 300 in the excess reserves. All right. So now assume Bob burned the money. What is the maximum change in the money supply? Well, we know that the money multiplier is 1 over 0.10 because that's the reserve ratio in this case. So the money multiplier is 10. All right. And he withdrew 3,000. So I'm going to multiply that 3,000 by 10. And I'm going to get 30,000. And that is a decrease, right? So Bob burned the money. What is the maximum change in the money supply? Well, now people cannot get loans out, right, from Bob's money. So the change in the money supply will be negative 30,000. Something that's not covered in this slide is if the Fed buys bonds. All right. Well, if the Fed buys bonds, all of that money will be multiplied by the money multiplier to get the maximum change in the money supply. When we did this originally with that Bob depositing the $1,000, we didn't multiply. I'm going to just flip my page for a minute. We didn't multiply $1,000 by the money multiplier. We had to only multiply the 900, what the bank could loan out. Well, if we're talking about open market operations, meaning the Fed is buying bonds, well, all of that money will be multiplied by the money multiplier to get the max change in money supply. And your assignment for today is actually watching one of Clifford's practice videos, and he goes over this very well. Thank you.